How to Create a Glitch Monologues Season 33 Chapter 8. This is Season 33 of How to Create a Glitch in the Matrix Monologues Episode 8. In this episode, we will be talking about the tonal interface which directs our attention unconsciously. The tonal interface which guides our attention to the objects of consciousness is predominantly created by those who we engage in a tonic-dominant relationship with. To the extent that we act as a dominant in any relationship, our unconscious impulses will be directed towards the conscious impulses of the tonic. Which is to say that the narratives that we produce through our language will reflect the unconscious biases of those who are tonic. Let me give you an example. Suppose we are writing some in-depth essay on a subject. It could be any subject, say Stoicism, even. Now, we are writing this paper for a friend for whom we are a dominant. Thus, the prevailing undercurrents of that friend's conscious impulses on the subject will act as signposts in the crafting of our narrative, unconsciously. So for example, let's say that friend thinks that Stoicism is a dead philosophy, but doesn't express that to us. We may write a paper which recapitulates that argument unbeknown to us that we are recreating the consciously held impulses of the tonic. Now, this tendency is useful in the context of papers assigned by teachers or professors. But in the context of sociality is a far more powerful and frightening effect. Now, let's say we're not talking about a paper, but a conversation. In that conversation, we are expressing opinions on some subject. What we don't know is that the tonic, who we are speaking to, is unconsciously influencing the direction of our narrative, word choice, word order and emotional expression. Again, this is a manifestation of the non-consensual impulses animating our unconscious gestures. Now, what is the tonal interface? The tonal interface is the unconscious drawing of our attention to specified words in a written or spoken text created by the tonic-dominant relationship. It guides our interpretation of the tone of language, emotional emphasis, and shapes how we interpret what we read and hear. For example, let's say you are having a conversation. And in this conversation, person 1 says A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, in this conversation you are the dominant. Person 2 is the tonic. Person 2 consciously emphasizes A, C, D, and G. Thus, when you hear the series of 7 letters, your mind will be unconsciously drawn to the same letters as set out by the conscious impulses of the tonic. Now, this emotional emphasis can manifest a particular meaning created by a tone. Or, it can unconsciously infiltrate the meaning our minds glean from a text, through the word order and choice of the tonic. All of the various mechanisms of multiplicity find their expression in the manner by which our minds absorb some text. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.